Trying to stay off this and not use it too often, because obviously it's not too good to use it very often. Stupid name, which is probably why the whole lot of it's ended up in these cheapo shops. 24 cans, $2 the whole frickin' lot. You buy them singly for 69 cents. And I have another place, cheapo store, that sells them for 75 cents a can. 24 for $2. As I keep saying, if you look around, you can get stuff for bloody peanuts, and you don't necessarily even need to go to a bankruptcy auction and buy 2 pallets worth. This is a joint here that in the future I may be trying to compete with. This mob, there's another store, 22 different stores listed. Not the store I went to today, but the other store I went to the other day to get more mayonnaise. That's been there for 30 years, because I've seen a little plaque up when it was opened. Well, it was actually a plaque from the outgoing mayor that got his ass kicked for 30 years of community service. Well, somehow I think maybe he should be doing 30 days of community service, if you know what I mean. Anyway, with these bankruptcy auctions, these guys have got a lot of this stuff from these bankruptcy auctions. Now, those cans I got today that were 24 for $2, I have seen at these bankruptcy auctions that are based online, by the way, I have seen you had to buy like 2 pallets or something, or at least, no, I think it was 1 pallet of drinks much the same as that, and I shit you not, they were 2.5 cents a can. Now, by the way, if you're in South Australia or Northern Territory, there's a 10-cent bloomin', it's a government effort to try and keep the place clean. There's a 10-cent refund they sort of you can get if you hand them all in at certain corner stores. It's just to encourage kids to pick up all the little cans. And yeah, for every can you hand in, you get 10 cents, whereas you bought the damn can for 2.5 cents. You get what I'm saying? I mean, even if it'd only work if I was in South Australia or Northern Territory, but even if I didn't sell the damn cans and just stood there opening them up and pouring them on the ground, I could still make a profit of 7.5 cents a can. Just with the little government rebate to try and keep Australia from becoming bottles strewn all over the roadsides, which is pretty much like what it is in this state already. They also used to have it in Western Australia, because I remember it as a kid, and yeah, it used to be, I think it was 15 cents, and it dropped back to 10 cents or something like that. Yeah, I made a little bit of money on the side when I could out of that. Anyway, getting back to the point, I would like to focus, or originally I thought I'd like to focus primarily on cleaning products, and there's a particular one that I know how to make a knockoff copy of a particular cleaning product, which I've got the proper product. Actually, I've even got another product which is a stronger version used for different stuff with the same ingredients, and I was thinking of making a knockoff copy and selling that, plus specialising in detergent. And I thought, well, you can't just have a shop just for detergent. That's bloody stupid. So I thought, well, maybe homewares in general. You know, pots and pans, and crossed with bloomin', you know, groceries, crossed with detergent, crossed with, oh hell, you know, linen. I know of another place that I've been to get very cheap linen, and that's very cheap. It's end of lot lines and stuff like that, but that's not a bankruptcy place, and I think they get a lot of stuff from bankruptcy auctions, and just basically become a bit of a like these guys, you know, buy stuff at bankruptcy auctions, have my own shop front and resell it. And it's not that stupid a idea. A lot of this stuff they've got is stuff that just didn't happen in the real market, like Magnum Gold. question mark, exclamation mark. Well, they bought it out officially, just without the question mark and exclamation mark. All these packets look stupid. It's all frozen products. Ah, stuff it. So they sell them off at a bankruptcy auction or some sort of a clearance auction. There's just a lot of shit that they tried to launch and was unsuccessful. But in the process of trying to launch it, they had, you know, a couple of truckfuls. Or at least they tried to sell it to the major distributors, the major chains of supermarkets, and they at least had to do a trial run of a few pallets just for them to taste test it, and you're buying the remains of that trial run that they wanted to test. Now, having said that, I have what was originally a Australian-owned biscuit company and is now US-owned. This was obviously one that, I can't remember seeing this in the store ever. Custard cream. Now this may very well be one of these ones they tried out and failed, or they tried to get going in a couple of stores and the sales were hopeless and they basically gave up on it. And a lot of these things, the vast majority of these things, are just that little bit out of date. And they may very well be available in the normal store anyway, but they're either out of date, which 80% of cases they're out of date, and the other 20% of cases they're just failed product lines. And you see plenty of them aimed at the Asian market by the bigger food manufacturers and processors that basically the Asians either didn't like because it didn't really taste like the real thing, or it was just too bloody expensive because their prices are too high because they've been selling to white people who they expect to pay a lot, and that's what they've been selling to for the last 50 years, not Asian people who go with the brand names they know from back home, so they buy all the imported stuff, imported from their home country, or just simply ain't going to pay that much for that sort of sauce because they've never paid that much before, because Asians really won't pay as much as white people will for the same stuff. Anyway, long story short, this place has, when you go in there, they've got the tags on the shelf, and every single tag has the price and in big letters the use by date, which I think they're sort of required to do because of the fact that so much of this shit is like a few weeks out of date, or like, you know, a week off going out of date, or already a month out of date. Same with what's his name in there, the mayonnaise. That's like about a week out of date now. But anyway, the other stunt they do also, I don't know if they do it to this store, but I've seen it in other stores before, is right over the entrance they hang a big sign that says about, you know, entry to the store, we can refuse entry and blah blah blah. And I mean, on that you could put, you know, be aware that these things are past the use by date, and please check the use by date before buying, or something like that in the letters. And all they do is just hang it above the entrance where you walk into the main shop. So like, as in, you got the doors, you come in, you got the registers, and then you got a little turnstile entrance to go in to the you know, section obviously of the shop that is all your shelving, and you know, you could just put a little disclaimer on a sign above there, and apparently that's enough as well. But their stuff is cheap, and I've been making a point of going there on a more regular basis. Here's another little trick. 5% seniors discount. You start with that stuff, you just about guarantee all the pensioners are turning up there. And I mean, a lot of pensioners, because their pensions over here are friggin' hopeless. About $50 more than welfare money. I think it's pretty bloomin' lousy. It is nothing like US pensions. And, you know, if inevitability occurs with all the debt in the States, the pensions might have to become like Australian pensions. Anyway, that's one of the big stunts. Just as on eBay people price things higher and then they put the shipping at a lower cost. And my sister tells me that's the same stunt you got to do with Etsy and stuff like that. And there's all little tricks like that, you know. Same as the old stunt of, well, here they don't do it. They just get straight to the point and tell you $2. But, you know, the old $1.99, you know, it's like, oh, well, that's, you know, that's $1.99. It's, you know, and it looks more like $1 than it does $2, so it doesn't feel as bad until, you know, you wake up to the fact that $1.99 basically is $2. But it's another one of those little mental tricks. And offering seniors discounts in this country has become a very smart trick to try and get your get business in the door, and it bloody well works, and it works well. There's a particular old Dutch friend of me mum's always tries and asks us for a senior discount. Just asked no, pensioners discount. Do you give a pensioner discount every time? And they've got a little card that, pretty certain my dad's got one actually, that just says seniors. And apparently when you flash that card, that automatically proves that you are, quote unquote, a senior. And it literally says seniors card or some blooming thing like that with a little government logo. And it's more just for cheap train fares and crap like that. But the reality of the situation is that they show you that little card and they think they're getting somewhere because they're getting 5% off. But, you know, I put it like this. This here costs them $2, you know, or this here, RRP $4.40, $2. I bet you your bottom dollar they would have got those for less than 15 cents each. They probably got them for about 7 cents a pop. So what's another 5% off your $2? Meanwhile, the oldies think it's good that they're getting $4.40 knocked back to $2 and they're going to get another 5% off, and the reality is you bought it for bloody 5% of that friggin' price to begin with. So, you know, but all the same, it's that same little stunt. You know, you get them all coming in the door and this and that. I was just sort of thinking with all the refugees and that, the other one they've got, and I've got one. Oh, fuck it, I might as well pull it out. They're crappy little cardboard card. Just show you it like that. That's there. Now basically, yeah. And they call it a healthcare card. And I mean, it's just a little bit of folded friggin' crap, basically. Just a little, and all your conditions and bullshit on the inside. But that basically proves that you're on the dole. Now, you could jerk the chain of all these refugees and other people purely by also giving a 5% discount with a healthcare card. You know, and they'd all think they're getting their thrills in life because they got 5% off, you know, and once again, it's just a thing, you've got them in the door, just so they can show that tacky-ass little bit of cardboard that, let's face it, I could copy that bloody thing. There's no holograms, there's no nothing. It's as simple as simple. And in all honesty, I could copy that with a friggin' computer printer. But by showing that if you give them a 5% discount, then not only are you taking the seniors with the seniors card, you also got all the more recent refugees and stuff like that. And if they've only been here, you know, a month or two, other ones of their same culture who have been here the last 6 months know about this, bring them along. This is the first shopping centre, you know, shop that they've got a regular, consistent basis of coming to. And you've secured someone as a customer by being the first shop that they're very well acquainted with when they first enter the country. I mean, what not a better flaming stunt than that? You know, all lose 5% on something that you bought for only 5% of what you're selling it for, you know. And that's another one I've just thought of there. But you think about all these little tricks like that, and you'll draw in more people, especially if people, you know, it's not really entitlement mentality, but in a way it's like, I'm a special person because, you know, I'm on welfare, or I'm a senior, or for whatever reason, I'm a bit harder up, but they are kind management, so they give me 5% discount on something they paid jack shit worth of bugger all for to begin with, and then bang. And if there's any other sort of cards like that, you know, that's maybe another one that's like a disability pension card, and I've got 2 aunties on a disability pension, and I have to ask them if there's a separate card for disability pension, but that would be another one, you know. And you keep thinking of these little things, and you know, you take 5% less money and secure bloody 4-fold the customers that you would have had.